Anita Ben, we cannot hear
You
you.
sound.
You're
Oh, I forgot to unmute myself. So once again, hello everyone. After that song, I don't feel like saying anything, right? We, all of us, we want that wish to be fulfilled. Peace and no war and no crime. But still, I have a job to do, like everyone else. So here it goes. Um, my name is Anita, and I welcome everyone on behalf of Manhattan Meditation Center. Thank you for joining us on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook. So before we start today's topic, a sneak peek at our upcoming events. So month of May is coming to an end. We will be stepping into June. In June, we are offering a short meditation course on June 25th and 26th. That's a weekend. If you would like to learn meditation, or if you already have done the course, you want to revise, we encourage you to register for it. We are also doing a workshop on June 18th, which is a Saturday, and the topic is the art of living. Don't we all want to know that? Besides this, every Thursday we have talks, and those details we post on a timely manner every week, as well as if you are in our mailing list, you will receive a monthly flyer so you know what topics you'll be covering. And the talks are recorded and streamed, as you know, that we stream it live. So the recordings are available on our YouTube channel as well as on our Facebook page. I will post the link for both of them in a chat in a little while. Besides all this, as you might all be aware that Manhattan Center offers live meditation twice a day, Power Boost meditation in the afternoon at 12 o'clock, and good night meditation in the night at 8 o'clock. The meditation is only for 15 to 20 minutes. Meditator introduces a topic and leads you into meditation. You know, everything when you taste it live, fresh, it has its benefits. Same thing goes for the meditation. If you are joining us regularly or time to time, it's great. If you haven't tried it, we encourage you to try logging in for live meditation. The links are available on our website to join the meditation, and I'll post the link for the website in a chat in a little while. So that covers the sneak peek of all the community services what Manhattan Center offers. So today's topic, habits for a calm mind. You know, a lot of time when we get angry or agitated, right? Did you notice how the body, the physical experience change, right? Your heartbeat goes high. If you stay in that mode very long or a stretch of a time, people even start sweating. You start feeling hot, and you know, a lot of physical things you experience, right? And if somebody is near you, they will say, "Calm down, down." And they'll try to, you know, help you, either give you a glass of water. That's the first thing everyone does, right? Or they will take you away from that place and take you somewhere else. And so the change of the place might help you change your mind and calm down. But did you ever think all what we are experiencing, anger or, you know, calming down, where all that is happening? Although physically we experience this, but it is all happening in the mind, right? And if you have been connecting with us, which I assume you have, you must have heard that mind is a faculty of soul. Right? And we are a spiritual organization, and we look at every aspect or every topic what we present to you from the from the lens of a spirituality. So, habits for a calm mind, today's topic. Also, we will be looking through the lens of spirituality, how this faculty of soul, mind, which plays such a big role in every thought we create, how it can be our friend. So, and today's facilitator is Sandhya Kanthan. Many of you know Sister Sandhya, and if you are joining us first time, Sandhya Kanthan is an IT professional and is a Raj Yogi and a meditator for a very, very long time. And I present so many speakers, and I always mix up the number of years. So Sandhya, when you come on, maybe you can share how many years you're meditating. She loves to combine the aspects of meditation and the practical life issues and present them with very easy practical solutions. And that's the part which I love the most. So without further ado, I'm going to switch it over to Sandhya.
Thank you. Thank you, Anita. Om Shanti. Can everyone?
Om Shanti. Very warm welcome on behalf of everyone. Thank you for joining us. Over to you.
Thank you. So I was thinking today, before we talk about calm mind or calm anything, maybe we can start with a little exercise. Let's see what calm feels like, right? So let's start. Sit straight. Be relaxed but alert. Slowly take one breath. Breathe deeply inside, making sure your breath goes all the way to your lungs. Should feel full. Hold it and then breathe out. Breathe deeply again. Breathe out. Let's do it 4 times. We breathe in. Hold it for a couple of seconds and breathe out. Breathe in. Hold for a couple of seconds. Breathe out. In and out. One more time. Very good. When we do this, we get some nice oxygen. It makes us alert. We are ready. It's a preparation. Now let's do what we call progressive relaxation, right? Anita Ben was saying how when you feel tense, when you feel some negative emotion, how your body feels it, right? So slowly let's start relaxing the body. If you've had a long day, if you've had a difficult day, if you've just had a tough day, or you're tired, let's start slowly to relax the body. Start with your toes. Just tense and relax them. You know how to tense, relax, right? Just like that. But do it with your toes first. Slowly move up the body. Tense and relax your calf muscles. Now tense and relax your thighs. Come to your stomach muscles. Pull them in tightly and let go. Make a tight fist of each hand. Let go. Tense your arm muscles. Let go. Try to touch your ears with your shoulder. Let go. Push your tongue to the roof of your mouth as hard as you can. Let go. Screw up your face into a tight ball. Bring all your features together. Then let go. So just check yourself now if every part of your body is feeling relaxed. That's how we want to begin. And if there's any part of your body that is still tense, just tense it once and relax it. As you let go, see the difference, right? What it feels when it's tense, what it feels when it's relaxed. It feels very good. It's an amazing exercise. Right. Now you're ready, right? All parts of your body are relaxed. Now we go further into relaxing ourselves. So use your power of visualization, and in your mind, create a beautiful, peaceful scene of nature. Wherever you like it the most. It could be by the ocean, could be by the mountains, in a garden, or just in your own home, meditation room, or maybe in an ashram. Just visualize yourself in this beautiful place. See yourself sitting there. It's a warm summer day, and the sun is shining gently on your body. So let the warmth of the sun's rays relax all the muscles of your body. Look around at the beauty of the nature and let the colors and shapes of nature fill you with joy and delight. Listen to the sounds of nature. Maybe just a running stream, a gentle breeze blowing through the trees, or maybe a bird chirping somewhere. Now breathe in the scent of nature, the smell of earth, the smell of flowers, the smell of pure, fresh air. Allow the scent to heal you. Just stay there for a minute. As you're feeling very relaxed and calm, holding on to these feelings, gradually leave that scene and bring your attention back to where you are. Feels good? What you're feeling right now, this is how we are supposed to feel normally, all the time. This is how life is supposed to be. Although many of us, we remember experiences to be different. But when we are calm, when we are relaxed, this is how it feels. Everything looks beautiful. Everything seems beautiful. There's nothing that stresses us. So this is what happens when you take off all the pressures of your life and just allow yourselves to be. No need to do anything. Just be yourself. This didn't cost you anything, right? You didn't have to buy anything. You didn't have to go anywhere. but you just took all the pressures, all other thoughts about things that are happening, things that you have to do, things that have happened, done. Just leave all of those, take away all of those, and here you are. You're already calm. That's the whole session about, right? When we are in this state, when something happens around us, we are less likely to get stressed or react in a way that we don't want to, because we're starting in a place of calm. And many times, I think, at least my experience has been that many of us don't realize when we are not calm. We've just gotten so used to being pressured, stressed, tensed, that we think that's the way we always feel. We don't know what it feels like to be calm. So, this exercise is very good in two ways. Anytime when you don't feel okay, this exercise, first starting with your breath, right? Then tense and relax everything. And then go to a place of calm, whichever place is the place of calm for you. You automatically start to feel calm. It's very good to start from here when you want to do anything, when you want to say anything, when you want to take care of something. It's the best place to start. But the second thing, when you do this exercise on a regular basis, anytime when there is just the beginning of tension or stress, you will recognize it because you know that's not how you're supposed to feel. Right? When your stomach muscles are tensed, mostly it's nervousness. When your heart beats fast, right? Or when your shoulders feel very heavy or your neck muscles are tensed, you know there is some kind of fear. You're afraid of something. Something is happening. So you'll get to recognize that because you feel that's not how you are normally. So these exercises help you both recognize when something is not okay with you, but it also helps you bring back to a state of calm. And how did you get there? What did you do? Just take control of your body. It always starts with breathing. Breathing, right? Can you stay for a minute without breathing? Probably some people can, to a minute, maybe two, but longer than that, no, right? So this is in our language, in Hindi, we say it's pran vayu, life. It's the breath of life. And when you know, you understand your breath kind of tells you how you're feeling. Very shallow, fast breath like that tells you that there is some anxiety, some stress, some worry going on inside. A calm, deep breath that goes all the way to the lungs. You're in a state of calm. Right? I wanted you to know that before we talk about anything about calmness. Because one is to talk about it, but the other is to know and recognize. And these exercises are like your tools. You can use them anytime. All right. So let's go and talk a little about our topic today. So we're talking about the habits of a calm mind. But what is calm? What is calm to any one of you? You know, in nature, when they say calm, it's like an absence of wind, right? The calm before the storm, right? Or after the storm. So it's like a state where there is no wind, nothing is moving. It feels like everything is at a standstill. There is still movement, but there's nothing that is disturbing, no disturbing movements of the wind. Similarly, in the mind, a calm mind doesn't mean you're not thinking. Mind things all the time. And it's okay. But there is no thought in the mind that's creating strong emotions like worry or stress or anger, anxiety, fear, tension, nervousness. Those are strong emotions. They muddy the water, not just like muddy the water, they muddy the mind. There is no clarity when those kind of emotions come. Peaceful emotions, you recognize them, right? When you feel free, when you feel light, peaceful, quiet, tranquil, basically calm, right? Everything has a place and everything is in its place. That's a state of calm. You know, when I was young, when we used to go on hikes, and I'm talking about when I'm young is a long, long time ago, maybe 30 years or so ago, when I was in my teens, we used to go on hikes. And when we go on hikes, there are streams of water that you come across. You could just take the water from there and you can drink the water. It's that clean, it's untouched. Nothing is disturbing it and it's just flowing. You can just drink, and it's the tastiest water. If anyone has tasted it, it's the tastiest water. So even when the mind is in the state of calm, it's the most beautiful place to be. Many times people talk about vacations, right? Where can I go? What can I do? But that's a change of place. To an extent, it does help because it's also a change of routine. But what really helps is our state of mind. When there is this calm in our mind, wherever you are, everything is beautiful. Suddenly, when you are in a calm state of mind and you look out, say, oh, I never knew it is so beautiful when I look out of this window, right? And it may have been right there, but when you are stressed, when you are anxious, you can't see that beauty, right? So, what does that tell us? It tells us something is within us. We have to choose how we want to be. Are things on the outside going to change for us? Or when everything is all right, I will be calm. Look at the world today. Is it even possible that nothing happens and everything is perfectly all right and then I can be calm? No. The world is moving at a very, very fast pace. There is no space between thoughts, between moments. We don't even know time. It's like this is the morning and I look around, it's the evening. Right? So it's a choice we have to make of how we want to feel. It doesn't matter what's going on around us. This is what is keeping the mind calm. Not that the mind is calm and everything around is calm, but that I choose to keep my mind calm. It's a choice I make. And we all have this choice. We just have forgotten. We all have a choice. In the midst of anything that's going on, it's possible to stay calm. You know, when I was very, very young, my grandmother passed away. And I was her favorite. She was my favorite. And I was very young, really young. So usually you know how it feels like the atmosphere of that place. It's a it's of pain, it's of loss. So there is a lot of crying. When I was there, my father told me one thing. He said, why are you crying? And I said, I don't know where she's gone. And he said, she's a soul. She's gone and she's become another little baby. What is there for you to cry? And I have no idea. I think as a child, it caught my imagination. And I said, oh, my grandma has become a little child. I didn't know to cry after that. I just felt good. Okay, she was struggling with her body, that she's going to be a child. And I was okay. I just became calm in spite of everything that's going on around me. So sometimes just a piece of information that comes to our mind or someone shares with us can help us become calm. But it's a choice. I have the ability to be calm in the midst of everything. And the second thing, whatever is happening around in the world, my feelings are not the responsibility of anyone else. You know, anytime when someone is not calm, they're anxious, they're angry, try and ask them what happened. They'll always say this person did this or this happened, that happened, whatever. But we never say, well, I made myself angry. We never say that, right? We always think somehow someone is responsible. They did something that made me like this. This is a very wrong notion. It's not true. No one can make you feel the way you feel. They can do something that can trigger you off, but you always have a choice, and you're the only one responsible for how you feel. When you think about this, many people say, "Oh my God, I don't think so. If they had not been that way, I wouldn't be feeling this way." But the truth is, if you take the full responsibility, you become powerful because now it's in your hands how you feel. Am I right? But if you say they made me feel like that, now for you to feel different, they have to change. Is that happening anytime? Is that happening anytime soon? No, it's not happening. You've given all your power into someone else's hand, and it's not going to work. But if you say whatever anyone says, does, or however they are, I am responsible for how I feel, and I'm going to choose how I feel. Suddenly, the power is all transferred to us. You know, when I first came into this country, I think it was the first 2 years after I had come. I was working for a company called Johnson and Johnson. That was in 2001. Remember 9/11? I was in the office on that day, and this was in Pennsylvania. We're not even in New York. We are in Pennsylvania. We're in the office, and we first heard this. The news came out, and just everyone was getting to know. It was like most of the people in the office were like frozen, like no one knows what to do. It's like, what's happening? What's happening? Everyone wants to know what's happening in the news. So there was one of my managers, right, to whom I was reporting. Her name was Kellyanne Finlay. I still remember. She didn't turn on the news. She didn't do anything. She went on doing what she was doing until 1 o'clock. She finished whatever she needed to do, and at 1 o'clock, they closed our offices. We all went home. But she never let herself get pulled into this energy that was working there, right? Like everyone was, what is happening? What's happening? And we can't talk or think of anything else. It was a great lesson for me. And I think this is very important for us in many, many ways. What was happening in a particular place right now, but nowadays, because of news, because of the way media is, we know everything that's happening everywhere. And many a time, there is not much we can do about any of those things except give good vibrations and good thoughts. But if we keep looking at news and keep looking, what is happening, just that curiosity, and keep looking at that, we get sucked into that energy. And suddenly you find you've lost all your peace. Now you can't help yourself, nor can you help anyone else. So it's very important. Now, why am I telling you this? Because you're talking about the habits of a calm mind. And when we talk about habits, we're talking about routines, right? And many people don't like routines. Nowadays, when I talk to the younger generation, anytime I ask them what you want to be, the first thing they say, oh, I don't want a 9 to 5 job. What do you want? They think somehow being on Instagram, being on whatever, all those social media apps, right? They can make money like this. And that's the kind of life they want because that's what they see the influencers doing, right? Oh, I don't want a 9 to 5 job. But habits, routines, they're very important in life. Just imagine you just get up and do anything today. Tomorrow you get up and you do anything else. It's That's not the way life is supposed to be because it's never under your control then. You're just under the influence of your own whims and fancies. But when you have a routine, I have a lot of respect for people who have routines, who have these habits, because they are like the foundation of life. When I was young, my grandpa used to always wake us up before the sun rises. And in India, sun rises at the same time every day, 6:10. And he would say everyone has to be out of their bed before the sun enters the home. And we'd all be awake. And it takes a lot of discipline to have those kinds of routines in your life. I will do it this way. And we always ate at particular times. We didn't eat whenever we were hungry. There was a particular time we would all sit around, we would eat, and then we'll go about our work. But nowadays, it's a completely different way of life, right? So, when we're talking about habits, I wanted to talk about this. I don't know how many of you like routines, but routines are foundation. They're the building blocks of life. They make life easy. You don't have to every time think right, wrong, what should I do? It sets the pace of life. So it's very good to have good routines, things that you learn when you are young. It is so easy. Like getting up in the morning is one of the things that's really easy for me. I don't have to make much effort because it was instilled in me way before I even understood anything. Yeah? So today we're going to talk about a few things. We're already at 7:05. We'll talk about a few routines, habits that are good for a calm mind. And it's one thing to know, but the other is to actually want to build it, right? That's the whole idea of the session. So you've all heard of the 2190 rule. It's very popular now, right? When you want to build a new habit, they talk about a rule called 2190. The rule is very simple. You commit to a goal for 21 straight days. Don't take too many, take one or two, but you commit to it for 21 days. That means at the same time, in the same way, you would do it for 21 days. That's 3 weeks, right? Once you do it for 3 weeks, it becomes a habit. It's not strongly instilled yet, but it's a habit. That means it's very easy for you by the 21st day to do it. Like, for example, if you wake up at 6 and you decide to wake up at 5:30, if you've done that for 21 days at a stretch, by the time you come to the 21st day, it's easy for you to get up at 5:30. It's not much effort. But once you establish that habit, you have to continue to do it for another 90 days. So if you keep up something for 3 weeks, learn it, make it a habit, and then continue for 90 days, you've made a permanent lifestyle change. It just, from there on, it just happens automatically. Right? So let's see if there is any of these things that you want to do in your life. You can follow this and see if it helps. Right? Nowadays, everyone says routines are boring. Routines are not boring. Routines are important. Right? Simple routines. First thing in the morning, what will I do? Will I get up, sit down for a few minutes, take time for myself, remember the divine, right? Routines about what I will wear. Have you seen people how they struggle when they have to go to office? Especially after the COVID, right? When we all got used to staying at home and doing things and you have to go to office, like, what will I wear? What will I wear? But to plan and to have a routine helps you a lot. Similarly, what will I eat? When you go to a place and there are like so many varieties, if you don't have a routine of what you will eat, there is temptation, right? Maybe I'll eat this, maybe I'll eat that. But if you have a routine, at lunch I always take only salad. Simple. It's easy. It's good for health. You don't have to make much effort, and you will see soon that you're not even having a temptation to go anywhere else. You just go to the place of the salad, whatever that is. It's just an example I'm giving. But these routines, they are the keys to a better and calmer living. Why? Because once it's instilled in you, they happen automatically. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to give it any energy. They happen automatically. Then you will be calmer because you have to spend less energy thinking about many things in your life. But nowadays, what happens? Many people rush through their mornings. You start your day running late. Oh, I got up late. Now it's like you're trying to play catch up all day long. It can be very, very stressful. But if you plan, if you have a routine in place, if I need to go to work at 8, maybe I wake up at 5:30. I take time for myself before I have to even get into the chores of the day. 15 minutes for myself every morning. I sit down, contemplate, take a cup of coffee, sit down in nature, contemplate on the divine, think about different things, not about your day to day life. Don't plan your day, but think about something much bigger than your day to day life. You'll see that automatically you start seeing yourself as a part of this big universe. And then it's not so stressful because you're a small part of this big universe. If we keep thinking about our own routines, this is our life, this is our universe. So everything in that becomes very stressful for us. So think when you have a bigger picture, you think of a bigger universe, these things become small. When they become small, they need less energy and you can be calm. So starting your day without rushing is the first thing. You need to have a little time for yourself in the morning so you can calm yourself. Think of the bigger picture. Think of the divine. Think of God. Think of all the things in life that you have been granted, you've been bestowed with. No, especially at this time in the world when you look, there are so many people who've been driven out of their homes, driven out of their cities, of their countries, their jobs are gone, their lives are gone, everything is upside down. Today is another day where I can wake up in my own home. I still have a job. I still have everything around me. Can I thank God for it? When you start your day like this, it's possible to stay calm, right? And in the first thing in the morning, do some breathing exercise. In India, they call it pranayama. Again, right? It's life energy. Breathe. Make sure every part of your body gets enough oxygen. You're alert, you're active, you're ready for the day. Then start getting into the day, right? Now you've given it a good foundation. You've started in a good place. This is the beginning. We still have a long way to go. There's a whole day ahead of us, right? Second thing, when you start to interact with others in your life, with things, with people, with nature, the first important thing to note is that you should not take anything personally. This has become the way of our life. right? For example, you get up and you go to wake up your kid, and the room is not clean. They haven't cleaned. The first thought that comes, I told them to clean yesterday. They didn't do it. We feel like they're defying us, right? It's personal. I told them to do it and they didn't do it. Or your spouse is hot, not in a good mood. Oh, they don't care about me. No, it's not like that. We have to change this way of thinking. You go to work, someone doesn't smile at you, or they act rudely. How can they treat me like that? That's the first thought, right? No, it's not about you. If someone doesn't clean their room, if someone's off mood, if someone is acting rudely, it has nothing to do with you. You know, there are some people, they go to the extent of thinking that the whole universe is somehow against them. It's not. It is really not personal. Every person in their own life is dealing with some issue, and that's how they are dealing with it. They're doing the best they can. So you have to be able to look at things and say, it has nothing to do with it's it's not personal. It's just something that's happening. Like when fall comes, all the leaves fall, right? It's nothing personal. It's not that the trees are all against you and they're putting all their leaves in your front yard or backyard. No, it's nature. It is nothing personal, right? You call a bird and you try to give it some feed, but the bird flies away. It's not personal. It's not that the bird doesn't like you or anything. It just is flying away because it's trying to find something else. So the first thing, once we have set ourselves in what we need to learn when we start to interact, is that I don't take things personally. The whole universe is not about me. My life, this is my universe in many ways for me. But for the universe, I'm not the center of the universe. Everyone is living their own lives. They're going through what they're going through, so they're doing what they're doing. Just like in the beginning, we said, no one's responsible for how I feel, right? In the same way, I am not responsible for how someone else is feeling. It's their life. They're dealing with it in their way. When you separate or extricate yourself from these things that are happening around you, you start feeling free. You don't start getting upset every time someone is not doing things the way you think they should be doing. Because the world outside, this is people, right? It's one thing. But the world outside, it's not in our control. Is there anyone here who thinks they can control the world? Is there anything or anyone in the world that you can control?
I tried to, sister, and I failed consistently. And I hurt myself.
We all did. Because we can't. The universe moves in its own way, as it should, every person in his own journey. So don't expect everything to go according to how I plan. I have to plan, I have to have a plan for the day. But not everything is going to go according to my plan, and it should be okay. If it comes to that, I should be able to change my plan because nothing else will change. The world will not change for me. So, this flexibility that you have inside, right? You have a plan. I want to do things this way. But when it doesn't happen, I change it around. You know, I don't know if I ever gave this example before in the class. Dadi Janki was our administrative head. And at the age of 60, she came from India to London, and that's where they started their service overseas. So in the beginning, they had very little service to do. So one day they were invited to a place with a lot of very important people where they had to come and give a talk. So Sister Jayanti, who lives with her, and Dadi Janki, and one other sister. They took a car and they were on their way to get there. They're supposed to get there around 4 o'clock in the evening. On the way, the car breaks down. And the person who had invited them, right, he's waiting, they're not showing up. So at some point, he gets the thought that maybe something is wrong. So he goes along that route to see if something had happened. And they are in the middle of this place, right? It's the countryside. There's no one there, no shops there, no people there. And they're all three of them are there with the broken car. This person, when he sees them from far away, he thinks, oh my God, they must be so stressed in the middle of nowhere. They have a broken car, and they're all three little women. He goes there, all three of them are sitting there chatting happily, enjoying their time. And he says, you're not stressed? I said, no, we did our best. But if we have to reach there, it will happen. We know that. There's nothing we can do. So we just thought, at least let's have a good time here. So sometimes life doesn't fall in place. Not sometimes, many times. Most times, probably, it doesn't go according to our plan. But it should be okay, even if it doesn't. You should be ready to change. You should not lose your happiness. You should not lose your calm because things are not falling in place. Right? Now, the last one. I think this is all I can do for today. The last thing that's important to stay calm is not to rush. Look at the world today, right? Look at the incredibly fast pace of life. Everyone is moving, everything is moving. Anytime you go on the road, there are so many cars. Everyone is going somewhere. And even in our own life, like we said earlier, when you start a day, you don't know when it ends. I have no idea what I achieved through the day, but the day is over. It's incredibly fast and it's becoming faster and faster. Right? And we all have busy schedules. Who amongst all of you here have time? I'm sure none of you have time. When you finish this session at 7:30, I'm sure there's something else waiting for you. Right? It is a busy schedule. But in the midst of all of those, like I'm happy you all took an hour to do a session like this, right? Just like this, it's very important in the midst of all of the things that are happening in our life to make sure we have activities planned that give us some moment of peace, some moments of stillness, some moments of calm. You know, nowadays in the iPhones, they have this app, Calm, right? Just for 15 seconds. Don't do anything. And the phone telling us don't do anything. Can you imagine that? Everyone nowadays is just busy with the phone. Go on the subway, go on the bus, at a station, in the car, lunch, dinner, at home, all the time. People are on the phone. So that's why I think they decided to have this app on the phone telling us be calm. 15 seconds of your life, right? It's very important to take time out for these because our days are so full, it constantly needs our attention. So sometimes, deliberately out of this schedule, I have to take a little time to be still. I have to take a little time to be with nature. Do something creative. Don't do everything for job, for work, for money. No. Do some things just for the sake of it. Sit in nature. If you know, there's a beautiful time. Spring is a really beautiful time, isn't it? Take some time out and by yourself, not with others, just for yourself. Today in the morning when I woke up, I wasn't feeling very well. So I just sat on the bed for a few minutes by myself. There was no one in the room. And I felt so good just sitting on the bed for a few minutes until I got the energy to get up and go where I need to go. So by yourself, take a little time to be still. Just watch nature. Do things that children do. You know? Art is good. Some yoga is good. Some meditation is good. Nature is good. Any of these, something that gives you a little silence, a little soothing and comforting feeling. When you take time for yourself like that, you won't feel like your whole day is gone and I didn't get to do anything I needed to do. So create daily routines like that. Like when in our practices, right, we have a hourly traffic control, we call it. It's just music that plays on the hour. Many times I'm in the middle of a meeting when the traffic control music plays. I just take maybe 10-15 seconds to realize that it's time to remember God. Just step away from your day to day activity and then come back. It shifts your energy, it shifts the way you look at things. Now, once you've done that for a minute, you're ready for the next 59 minutes. Yeah. So it's like unplugging from that busyness of your schedule. Take care of yourself. Because it's your routine. If you want to take care of your routine, you need to take care of yourself. Taking a little time, sitting in a garden, looking at flowers, looking at, I don't know, sometimes nowadays we don't have that, right? A few months ago, I was in Death Valley National Park. So when it was dark in the night, we just lie down on the ground there and we just watched the stars. It was just so incredibly beautiful. It's a feeling I'll never forget. When we were young, in summers, because it's kind of hot in India, we would all sleep on the terrace. The roofs there are not slanting like this, they're flat roofs, they're terraces. So we can go up on the terrace and we would all spread our bedding there and we would lie down. So you would just sleep looking at the stars. Those things are gone nowadays, right? But it's such a beautiful way to spend a few minutes, to know you're part of such a big universe. It's not just your life, your job, your home. It's not. It's so much bigger. And that the bigger perspective of life makes things in your regular life much easier. So even if your schedules are very full, take these little times here and there to do things that help calm you. And if you set them into a routine, there you go. You have a good start at least. Right? Otherwise, we go through the whole day in an autopilot. We keep doing the same things we've always done. And at the end of the day, I'm upset. I go about the next day, I do exactly the same things. At the end of the day, I'm upset. And I'm surprised that how come every day of mine is like that? Yeah, every day is like that because I'm doing exactly the same things every day. Change a few things here and there and see the amazing difference it can make to your life. Another good thing to do when you need a little me time, something is upsetting you, is to journal. Write down. Get to know yourself. Get to know what is going on inside of you. Many times we're trying to resolve everything on the superficial level. Many things cannot be resolved like that. They need to be resolved deep inside. So when you journal, many times you become aware of your thoughts and feelings. Because a disturbed mind always starts with the disturbance in the heart, always starts with feelings. You feel bad, and then your mind goes on an overdrive. That's when it becomes turbulent. So look to see what is happening deep inside of me, and journaling is a great way of doing it. Yeah. And another thing is, many of you may have heard this, right? Practice gratefulness, gratitude. I think, especially at this time in the world, there is so much happening. I think every day of a regular day with no extreme violence or extreme issues is a gift. And we don't know how many more such days are left. So use each of those days. Be grateful for what is already okay, what is well. You have the time, you have the energy now to make some changes. If we don't do it now, when things are extreme, we won't have the power. It can't come at that time. It needs to come now. It needs to become a habit now, so that even when something goes wrong, I have the energy to deal with it. So being grateful, having gratitude for every day, when I have the time to take a few minutes, be peaceful. Learn good things, right? So take your time to do that, and that will also help you. So those were a few things I wanted to talk about. Actually, there are many more, but simple things, right? When you're doing a job, make sure you complete it. Simple things of life. I always say this, like washing dishes. It's beautiful. Every time you finish washing, you have a shining dish, a beautiful thing that you can put out there. It's an achievement. Every day when you get up, make your bed immediately. The room looks good, the bed looks good, you will feel better. So simple things in life that you're doing it cleanly, doing everything to simple things, right? I really like it if you when you clean something in your home, when you have a tidy kitchen after preparing lunch, it always feels like it's an achievement. So simple things that can give you that satisfaction. It doesn't have to be big projects that you complete. Little things on you do on a day-to-day basis also can give you that. So make sure you complete tasks. Don't keep letting things be there. I'll do it later. I'll clean later. No, do it immediately where possible. Last but not the least, see if you can stay away from phones, electronics, news, too much of news consumption, because constantly knowing what is happening here, what is happening there, is it adding value? It's not that we should live in a la la land and not know what's happening in the world. We should know what's happening in the world. But there is, take one source or two sources, listen for a few minutes, find out what's happening, and then close. But this constantly being bombarded with what's happening everywhere, what this person thinks, what that person thinks, their opinions, by the end of it, you would have lost all your energy. You haven't done a thing and you feel like you're so tired from just listening to all these things. So try doing that, and it might be a great help. All right. I think that's all I want to share for now. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah.
Yes, there is a question in the chat about all the time on the phone.
Yeah. Children on the phone.
And using social media.
Okay. Anita Ben, I cannot hear you. There's something about you. I cannot hear you. It's okay. I will read the. You sound like an what do you call them?
Alien?
Yeah. Yeah. So at homes, I think we cannot tell children what to do or what not to do. I have found a better way is actually to practice it ourselves. And have simple rules around the house. No phone at the dining while we are having dinner, or no TV so much time. Have some rules around it and make sure you follow them. I always find it difficult with children where the children have rules and somehow the elders can do whatever they want to do. That never works because children, they observe you. They're not going to listen to what you say. They know what you do and they will do exactly what you do. So the first thing we need to do is we have to change our ways. And it's not because we want them to change, but when we do that, we give them the power to change. We help them change. We can't do that if we don't do it ourselves. So, first, whatever you want to do, you practice it. You practice it for a month. Then you tell them. You will find that there will be a difference. But I understand your concern. It is my concern too. When I see the young kids, the way, I have this niece of mine who has a daughter. She's 2 years old. When they're 2 years old, how you give them toys to play. She doesn't want anything. She wants a phone. And she knows how to play video on that music, but that's all she wants. She doesn't want any other toy. So sometimes I still think, like, how do you help? You really have to play with them with their toys. They are seeing you play on the phone all the time when they're playing with the toys. And they decide they want the same thing that mom is playing with. So some of these things we can make few changes in our life, and that will help make the changes in their lives. Anything else? Madhura?
Yes, I wanted to ask, how can we stay away from the habit of controlling others? You said that one good way of keeping mind calm and under your control is keeping distance from controlling others. How can we practice that?
When you want to change something in your life, change it in your life. We want to control others' life because we think somehow they're changing their ways is going to help me. And it's not. So, first thing I need to realize is any change I want to bring in my life, I need to make the change in my life. Then, this need that we feel that somehow we have to control the way others are also changes. Right? If I have a discipline, let's say someone watches TV a lot in your home, but you choose how you want to spend your time. You don't want to watch, you don't have to watch. So you set your rules. Then you don't control, but you help the others change. You can't tell them and make them do, but when you do, you somehow empower them. They realize that they can do things another way that they have probably not known or not tried before. So it's much more helpful when you try that way.
Thank you.
Everyone else is okay? Yes, Nikki?
Yeah. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. So, in the chat, I had put, and I'm calling attention to this, that a lot of what you said, I think it's really about practicing. It's not something that one can do overnight. One of the things that you mentioned earlier is when you lost your grandmother and how you turned the thought to something else immediately as a child. I think loss and grievance has its different stages, and I don't think that's an easy thing to switch on and off. And I think crying is a good thing. We need to do that to release, and allowing ourselves to have the permission to grieve and to feel, I think is a very important human thing. So that's one thing you discussed that to me is a bit questionable, to be transparent with you.
Well, let me clarify.
Sure.
Right? Mostly, many times children don't even know grief yet. When you are really little, you really don't know grief. Many times you end up crying because everyone else around you is crying. So you think that's what you're supposed to do, or something like that happens. But when you change the way you think about it, which is what my father helped me see, he just said, well, it's going to be a little baby. You don't know. You don't have to worry about her. You don't have to think about her in that, what is happening to her. It helped me deal with it. Not that I will not miss my grandmother. Of course, for quite some time after that. But you don't have to, many times when someone passes away, there's a lot of grief which has to do much more like what's going to happen to me now. There's also what's going to happen to them because we don't know what happens after death, things like that, right? So if it those kind of things, some of these things help us deal with it. Okay, I don't have to worry. Will you miss them? Yes, you will miss them, but it's okay to miss. It's okay to say, it would have been nicer to have my grandma a little more. But you don't have to grieve as in, I think nowadays many people don't know how to come out of it. It's okay to cry, but you also have to finish it. You have to move on to the next stage.
Yeah, I think really honestly, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's an individual thing,
I agree.
and
Yeah.
it's about the closeness, the attachment, because
Yeah.
We're not all devoid of families and living with them, and when you've lived with like parents all your life, or I don't have kids, but people who are parents or have had child, like people in Austin, Texas, that incident that just happened, they lost their child. I mean, it's
No, that's a different case. Don't
yeah,
push them up together, Nikki. I was
yeah,
talking about an experience of my childhood. This is
right,
a completely different incident. What I'm trying to say is sometimes to know that the other person is okay after they've passed on is a
right.
is a good thing.
Oh, I
Even
see.
in the worst of situations, to know that the person who's passed on is in a better place is a good place to start, even if you want to grieve.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying. To imagine that they're in a
To know, right?
yeah.
As a kid, I trusted my father. If my father says they're in a better place, I felt they were in a better place and it helped. And you will see that this is the process of grief. You have to accept that they are in a better place. And
Yes,
it
yes.
helps move forward from there.
I see what you're saying. Thank you.
Sure. All right, we're at 7:40. Anyone else? All right. Thank you all for the evening. I turn it back to Anita Ben. Do you want to finish with a song?
My internet connection is glitchy, but we will still try because that's a beautiful song. It's a good way to end this. Everyone, thank you so much for your time. We are very glad that you made the
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is that in the stillness of this moment, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment, there is love. There is love, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love, sweet love, yeah, sweet love.
Thank you, everyone.
Om Shanti.
Good night.
Thank you.
And Sandhya, thank you so much.